Welcome to my sew-along today, my Saturday sew-along, where I'm going to be making the Molly dress from the ebook, the first one, the City Break one from Sew Over It. Right, let's just make sure. I tried to declutter the table, but there's still my jumper showing. As I've got a heater behind me, radiator, it gets so hot. I've got this fabric, which is from Higgs & Higgs, and it's different from the Billy sweatshirt fabric, which is more like a Roma Ponte, the cable knit that they do. This is much more like a knitted fabric. If you can see, it's sort of, that's the back. So it feels like you're making fabric using some, like a kind of jumper type fabric, a fine knit fabric. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it, using it, and I'm also really looking forward to seeing how it washes and wears and whether the recovery is good. So recovery on a fabric is basically when you stretch it, and that can be whether you're doing it by hand like this or when you wear it and then it goes back. And often cheap fabric and cheap things, hi Vanessa, they don't recover very well, or they lose their shape and stuff. Hi Rebecca in London. Let's see where everyone is as they're joining. Hi Jane, thanks for joining me. Always happy to see people, especially when it's lastminute.com with me. No schedule for you to follow. It's just, oh, I think I'll do it this weekend on the Saturday. Anyway, I have little Jazzy who's not feeling that great. She's just doing some colouring in next door, but she's got her food and drink, so hopefully she'll be fine. It's a miserable day out there, so it's a lovely day to have the candles on, nice music, and just do some lovely sewing if you can. If you've got that lovely calm environment, then yeah, hopefully some of you will be sewing with me. Might not be actually sewing this, but you just got me on whilst you're doing some of your sewing. So like I said, I'm making the, hi there Tess. Hi Carmen. So nice everyone saying hi to everybody, always what I love. So we're making the Molly dress. Now the Molly dress was, I've definitely done a sew along of this before, probably for Sew Over It, but as you know, I'm quite selfishly doing a lot of things that I want in my wardrobe, so I don't want to make things that I'm then not going to use. So this is something that's a nice easy make. Hi Helen, and I'm hoping that yeah, and we'll inspire some other people who haven't yet made it to make it, but I know that I'm going to use it really well in my wardrobe. So it's the Molly dress from the City Break ebook, which is the first ebook I designed for Sew Over It. And the idea is that you can take these 5 items to a city break, interchange them, and you've basically covered your whole weekend's clothes. And it felt quite, what's the word? It's not topical. I don't know. It felt like the right time to do it, let's maybe say. Hi there in Canada. It felt like a good thing to do, because I shared something on my Instagram yesterday, which was about somebody, I didn't even know I was following them, but somebody said something like, if you spend £27.50 every day on like fritter, basically on just stuff, which I don't, but if you did, that's £10,000 a year. And I think that one thing that I am definitely guilty of is impulsivity in lots of things in my life, but particularly in shopping. If I'm out and I see a nice, really pretty jumper or a really pretty dress or whatever, I will buy it. And I think part of the problem is that because I'm quite close to a standard size 10, I generally don't ever need to worry about things fitting me. Suiting me, yes, but fitting me, no. And I often can't be bothered to try things on, and so, you know, you get them, you bring them home, and you think, oh, it's nice, but it's not amazing, because you've not really given it that much thought, and you've not really given it, you know, thought about how it's going to work in your wardrobe. And so you've bought it and you wear it a few times, and then after a couple of years you give it away. And very much hold my hand up to being someone who does that, and I'm really, really trying hard not to do that. And I want everything in my wardrobe, be it handmade or be it shop bought, although I'm also trying not to shop buy, I'm trying to vintage buy, but it needs to work. And actually, one thing that you may see from my Instagram is the kind of colour palette that I'm leaning towards at the moment. And it's, again, thinking about things that were in my wardrobe that I always go back to. So when I don't think about a wardrobe, an outfit, what I'm going to wear, but I just think, oh, I want to wear something that I'll feel confident in, it's often in these colours. And I've never had my colours done, but I know that I feel confident in these colours. And so what I've decided to do, and this is quite brave, I think, of me, I've got so many beautiful things that are not those colours, and I just don't wear them. And I like seeing them in my wardrobe, and it's like, oh, look at that rainbow, but I don't wear them. I don't wear them enough. And so I'm going to sell them on Vinted, I think, and I'm going to try and declutter my wardrobe and my style. And that is very much what I'm going to do with the sewing. I no longer have to sew because we've just got a new pattern out and I need to be seen to be promoting it and wanting to wear it, or because we've got a fabric that we're trying to push, all the things that, you know, fairly we had to do with Sew Over It. I don't have to do that now. Okay, I need to sew things that I think you guys would be, you know, wanting to sew with me or be interested in, but I really want to just sew because I want to sew that thing. And I think that what happened with Sew Over It, I'm really going off on one now, aren't I? You're here for the sewing. But what happened with Sew Over It, and I've touched on this before, is that I lost my way in the design because I had to I was so influenced on what I should be designing, or what was a gap in the collection, or what, you know, would suit other figures, all these other outside influences, and I stopped sewing things that I wanted. And actually the core of Sew Over It, when I began, what was at the core, at the heart of Sew Over It, was my personal style. It was what I loved wearing. And I think that you could see that at the first 5 years of Sew Over It. It was just all the stuff that I loved wearing, and that's what gave it a much more distinctive style. And I think over the years it's kind of become a bit more generic in style because it's catered for more people, and I stopped enjoying designing in that way. Anyway, for me to get back to enjoying sewing and enjoying sewing clothes, for me, it had to be clothes that I want to wear, that make me feel confident, for my size, my colouring, my age, my lifestyle. And that is now what I encourage, is not to just frivolously sew 3 things a week or 2 things a week, or what, you know, if you don't need them, but also not to sew things that, you know, everyone's raving about on Instagram and you think, oh gosh. I remember thinking about that, about the Tilly Cleo dress, which is the dungaree one. Everybody became a bit of a cult pattern and everyone was making it, and then everyone was making it at Sew Over It. And I was like, it's really not my style. But I remember this really like strong feeling that I've got to make it. I've got to make it. And I'm like, but I know that wouldn't look good on me. And I definitely have made things in the past because of that outside influence. So what I'm trying to say is quieten all the noise, think about what you love wearing, and if you don't, and the sign of that, and because sometimes it's hard to remember, is that you keep going back to that thing and you feel confident in it, and don't wear things that you think you should wear and make things that you should wear. Anyway, blurb over, waffle over, let's do some sewing. So this is a really lovely, easy make. I have made some alterations to it because I want to, really simple, I've lengthened the hem, okay? I'm all for a below the knee midi length, and I'm not sure about the kind of movement of my legs, whether I'm going to be like a penguin in it. I haven't tried to taper it too much, and I think there's enough stretch in this that it will be okay. But we'll see. I'll obviously sew it up now, and then I probably will have a go at, I'll try it on, and then before I hem it, and then I'll alter it. So that probably won't be here now with you, but I want to try and finish it so that I can record a bit of outfits and inspiration, that sort of stuff for the Instagram in it. And try it out with all my stuff, things that I've got. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is join the shoulder seams, because we do the neckline in the flat. So I also, annoyingly, I did actually have to shorten this bit here. So I had to shorten it by 1.5 centimeters, purely because when I folded this fabric in like that, I just didn't quite have enough for this extension kind of grown on sleeve bit. So it means that the sleeves are going to be a bit shorter, or that seam will be, but then I have lengthened the sleeve piece. So it's just a bit of We're getting that creaking again, aren't we? Oh, no, Poppy! 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 It was me! Poppy! It was me! Come back here. So funny now. Poppy now has worked out that she can look out the door through the cat flap. And sometimes when I come back from being at home, being out, Poppy was at home, literally she's greeted by this head, like completely filling the cat flap, poking out. It's so funny, cracks me up every time. So we're just joining this seam here on the shoulder seam, which is slightly shaped, and there is a notch in the middle there just to help you line it up. And then, so that's on that side because I'm going to sew it on the machine like that, and then I'm going to flip it and we're going to do it on this side. I'm really happy now, finally, with my background for you. I mean, this annoys me, but that's just my underfloor heating. There's not much I can do about that. But I think it looks quite peaceful. What do you think? I tried it with the thick blanket because I thought, oh, this is distracting for you. But actually, the kitchen is generally quite tidy, so there's not too much clutter there. And it's nice seeing the lamp in the reflection of the mirror. I've also got some, I don't know if you can see them there. They're not coming up, are they? But I've also bought some daffodils. I don't yet have daffodils on my own field yet, so, but they are Lisi and numpty. Just realised I'm not doing right sides together. I'm doing the wrong side and the right side. Stop talking about Poppy and the cat flap and focus on your work. There we go. Okay. Now, those of you that watched the Amelia jacket with me the other day, I've got it up here. I have never been more, I cannot remember the last time I was this annoyed with myself with it, with something that I stupidly did. And I just shortened the zip stupidly from the bottom. We're on an open-ended zip, so I cut the bottom off. Anyway, I'm very proud of myself. Afterwards, I got off the sew-along and I fixed it. I did a kind of patchwork thing where I sort of pulled out some teeth and then patchwork it on. So there is a little bit there where you can see a bit of fluff, but essentially I've got it on now. I fixed it. Very pleased about that, but what an idiot. It's definitely not gonna, it wouldn't work though if it was gonna be used a lot, the zip, because that's a weak point where the join is. But given that, knowing me, I probably wouldn't wear that done up so much. I'll probably wear it undone more. Then that zip's not really going to get used that much. But yeah. Note to self and to you, never, ever shorten an open-ended zip by cutting it at the bottom. He's just blowing me a kiss. Poppy. Poppy. Shh. Sorry, everyone. Right, we're going to do 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, 5/8 of an inch. Shh. Ziggy-zag. So zigzag, we are going to go to stitch width 1.5, stitch length, I always like it to be around 2 on my machine. And away we go. Is that nice, Poppy, barking at nobody? Barking at the gravel? So I've been in touch with Rosie at Sew Over It about more patterns, and I was like, any chance you can send me a couple more? So I've asked for the Peggy trousers. I think I talked about that. I will try the 5/8 of an inch tut. Yeah, Peggy trousers, I've asked for that pattern, and the ultimate trousers. And so I thought we'd do the Peggy trousers next on our Tuesday nights. And then the ultimate trousers is actually quite an easy make. Maybe I'll do that on a weekend make. But I have to, I don't know if I'll get around to doing that this week, next weekend, because I'm going to have to alter the pattern. So I think I said I've lost my original. So I'm going to have to, yeah, work out. I need to do, yeah, I probably need to make a toile. I cannot remember the last time I made a toile. And saying what I was saying about me being a standard size 10, I'm not in the bum area. So in my bum, I remember I used to be a fitting model before I opened Sew Over It for a brand, not a brand, a designer. They used to show at London Fashion Week. It was a Japanese and English designer that worked together, and it was like print, and he was the print designer and she was the clothes designer, called Ili Kishimoto. And when I was at fashion college, I just saw this job advertised, and they gave the measurements, and they were my measurements. But my measurements at my hip were the right ones, but rather than me being wide sort of front on, not wide, but you know, the width being right that way, it's actually, if I turn sideways, I get the kind of volume from the curvy bum. So they, yeah, she always used to call me Betty Boo. Oh, Betty Boo's here for a fitting. Anyway, my bottom ratio and that shape of my bottom needs a lot of fitting. I usually have to put 2 darts in the back. I have to lengthen the seam. So yeah, I need to fiddle around with it really. Yeah, it was a really good part-time little job. This just paid me cash. I can't remember. I got 20 quid or 25 quid for an hour or something. And it was in this freezing, dilapidated studio in Brixton. I used to have to strip off. Yeah, my hair does, yeah. Yeah, I was, but it was really interesting. You know what, I learned a load about fitting, so much about fitting, and about how precise and how small these amounts are. Hi, darling. No, you can't have any more food, not yet, when I finished. Right, there we go. It's looking quite big at the moment for me. Oh, thanks, Helen. Yeah, I think I have. I've gone a full circle, haven't I? 10-year circle of style. Right, let's press those open. Press those open. Yeah, I've come back to vintage, definitely, but less 1950s and more kind of, really a little bit more 1940s. Not my hair, but my style. I'll have to make the, oh gosh, do you remember the tea dress, the 1940s tea dress? I haven't made that in a while. It was one of the first patterns. I feel like it's probably not a brilliant pattern, I can't remember. But yeah, that might be quite nice as a midi. All the lengths of those dresses are now wrong, because we're so used to seeing the midi lengths, aren't we? It's very easy to change them. Right, I'm actually treating this a bit like wool because it's quite bouncy. I'm just going to knock that steam out a bit, pat it down so that it holds that press. Right, that's that. Let's do the neckband. Now on my neckband, on my fabric, I preferred where, because it's got these sort of V's and then it's got that bit, and I thought that bit would be better as the neckband. So I positioned it like that on the fabric. So we're just going to join those short ends, right sides together. Oh, I'm getting messages from my friend whilst we're doing this. So I have a friend One of my closest, one of my best friends, she lives in Italy, but she's recently bought a flat in England, so she's got a space kind of to come back with her family, and I've been helping her do it up, and I couldn't go this weekend to help her. She's back, so she's sending me endless. We've been doing video calls, and she said she's out shopping, I think now, and she's like sending me photos, going, "Is this good?" Like, Dad, sorry, I was like, I'll be doing it so long, I might not be able to answer. Okay. Right, so now we're going to fold it in half like this. Now there isn't loads of stretch in the length, so the grain of the neckband has gone down the length of this, which probably means you need to have a bit more of a four-way stretch. I didn't really check. I have not got a four-way stretch. But I know that the neckband on, or the neckline on the Molly dress is definitely big enough, wide enough. If you remember when I was making the Billy sweatshirt, which I still haven't finished, although I think it's because I made it in the wrong colour. Before I was being like thinking about what my colour palette was, and so now I'm a bit like, I wish I'd made it in navy. But yeah, I think it's just going to be too small to get my head in and out of it. I'm trying to think who I could give it to. I should just like make another, give that away, pale pink, dusky pink to somebody, and make myself a different little cord set in the colour palette that would be a bit more fitting with my style. Okay, there we go. Stretching a little bit, but not loads. So we've stitched the short ends together, and then we've just pressed it wrong sides together in half lengthways to create the band. And now we're going to take the dress, these, put that there. I'm going to lay it here, try and get it so that you can see. There we go. Push that iron back a bit, it's in the way. Okay, so now the centre back, that seam is going to go on the centre back, just like the polo neck. Oh, I forgot to, I was going to show you. I got this gorgeous wool jersey from Minerva on eBay, and it's arrived to make another roll neck out of, and you can tell by my eyes that I absolutely love it. It's navy. They'd run out of it online on their site, and they had to send me it in two like amounts. But oh gosh, it's gorgeous. Love it. Okay, we've got notches here to help us line up, but I'm going to use them, and then I might end up adjusting, just because it's definitely longer at the front. It's a longer length there, and given that this band is not stretching loads, I might need to just change that so that I give myself a bit more neckband for the front. Yeah, so I'm going to make another one of those. Absolutely, that's like that. I think out of it all, what have I made so far? I think it's probably, I'm not saying it's my favourite, but it's going to be the thing that I wear most. I wore it on Friday. No, yesterday, no, Thursday. Loved it. So, yeah, they've done a really good job of that hack. It's a really good idea. Okay. That's fine. I think we have got actually a centre front. We've got a centre front notch there on the neckband, but there's not a centre front notch on the neckline, so we just need to create one by lining up the shoulder seams and just snip into that. Okay. Yeah, that's all right, I think, actually. It's okay. I don't need to, I can stick to those notches. So now I'm just going to stretch the band to ease this in. And to be fair, it does stretch out a lot, this kind of ribbed knit that I'm using. So it's good that we've got this going the other way, the neckband, because otherwise it just would stretch out really badly. That's something else I was going to say just then. To do with some kind of sewing thing, something with sew over it. No, I can't remember. Anyway, I've got too much of this. It's annoying me, this wool jersey, because I've got too much of it. So I need to make, I thought maybe I should make like a vest. Does anyone know a good jersey, kind of like a vest pattern? I could probably just copy one from an existing vest and just sort of, I was thinking I just would make it like thick, because I wear them a lot underneath my clothes in the winter, and I could just make it sort of, so like an undergarment, so I'll have definitely enough for that. But if anyone knows a good one with thick straps, let me know. Do let me know. Should probably look up on the fold line, actually. That's what they're really good for. Put in what I'm looking for. They are becoming like the Amazon, aren't they? Without all the like bad vibes of Amazon, but the Amazon of the sewing world, you know, one-stop shop to see all those patterns. Don't know if you can hear the TV. Jazzy, can you turn it down a little bit, darling? No, I can't give you food. Can you just turn it down a little bit, please? You can get a biscuit, but you're going to have to crawl under. Under the ironing board. Careful of the wire. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start at the centre back all the way round. I cannot for the life of me remember if it's a centimetre seam allowance or not on the neckline. I'm going to assume it is, but I might be wrong. Jazzy, we can see you in the mirror. Oh dear. So I'm lining up with the number 10 and away I go. I forgot to say the link to this, which you have to buy the rest of the ebook, but the link is in for the Molly dresses below, as is my buy me a coffee page for you guys to buy me. And actually I've changed it to a cup of tea following what you said, Helene. I managed to do it. You can actually just create and call it whatever you want. So you can buy me a cup of tea. And also, I've also put the link into my Friday Sew Club, which first one is next Friday. So if you're in London or can get to London from next Friday from 12 till 2, you saw my daughter, yeah. That's Jazzy. She's not meant to be on social media, but there we go, never mind. Yeah, then come join me. Let's sew in person. Okay, so we're just going round. You've got to be careful because you are easing in. Now, I always say that the fabric that is the most that's being eased into the smaller amount, you should have that on the top. But I think neckbands are the only time I'd say no, not to that. I wouldn't bother with that with a neckband. So I think it's you know, so you have to keep turning it over and seeing that you're not accidentally stitching in a little pleat. But I think the neckbands, you need to be from the neckband side. Haven't broken it too jazzy. If you were in London, you would. Oh, Helen, sorry. Yeah. I haven't broken it to Jazz yet, that we are going to have to pop down to the field soon. Just for a little bit. It's horrible though. She might have to just stay in the car. Poppy will literally take one look at outside and be like, nah, I'll stay in the car. I have got a couple of bits I need to do down there. Oh, I'm excited about this dress. I am excited. I've got a pile as well next to me of some like stuff to alter that I got from Vinted that's not quite right. And I'm so uninspired to do it. I just cannot be bothered. Just like, oh. I don't know anyone, speak now if you do, but I do not know anybody that likes doing alterations. Least of all for somebody else when they ask you, but even for yourself, because it's not exciting, is it? It's not creative. But I think like if you can, it's just a bit like doing boring jobs around the house or whatever it is you don't want to do. Just try and get into the zone and be like, right, I'm going to just do alterations. So I've got them out because I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow I'll just do them, because they're all brown, so it's all the same sort of thread. But I bought some trousers. Let me show you what I got. Let me show you. I bought these. These were from Mango, but again, like I said, I've got them all from Vinted. So these are really nice. I want to kind of tailored trousers, although I do prefer them with a pleat. But anyway, but they fit really. They do fit quite nicely, but they. Again, to fit my bum, they're great, but at the back, I need to create some shaping there. So I'm gonna have to put some darts or something in. I'm not gonna faff around with taking the waistband off though. I'm just gonna put some darts in like that, because it won't bother me if it's in the back there. So yeah, so I've got to do that with those. This is a bit trickier because this is a knitted little kind of vest. So I don't actually know what to do with this. I think I am going to, just have to take the side seams in, because it has been seamed down the side, but it's not ideal for that bottom ribbon. But I'm not going to wear it, and I love it. So I think I'm just going to take them in, and it will make the armholes smaller, but it means I'll wear it. I'm smelling it because it's somebody who has sold it and washed it before in a really lovely detergent. And then I've got these brown jeans that are, these were from H&M originally. And they're cord, but they're just really unflattering straight-legged. And I know straight legs like a kind of thing, but just doesn't really look right in these. So I'm going to taper them, but they have got a flat fell seam there. But I'm trying to think whether I have the cut, like, can be bothered to unpick that and do it proper flat fell seam, because you can't really see it because it's not like a proper jean seam. It's sort of like not faded denim. Kind of think, anyway. So they're not even, they're all quite annoying alterations. Right, that's it. Done, done, done. Is that going to keep fraying? It's a bit fray this. I might have to zigzag that or overlock it. I might just zigzag it now with you. Oh, look, it looks really nice though, the way that I've chosen it, that section. Lovely. I'm going to quickly zigzag that because I think that is, I can see that's going to fray. And then we top stitch it. So, well, we press it down and then we top stitch it. So I'm going to zigzag now. I need to change my stitch width to a much wider stitch width and a much longer stitch length. Because I really don't want the, I mean, obviously we could overlock this, but I think it will be fine just zigzagging it. It will give it some kind of stability and stop fraying. And like I said, I don't like the feeling of, if you've made something out of soft, like nice jersey, and then you've got like the overlock, I sometimes feel like it tickles my neck. If you do quite a long stitch length, so here I've got what, stitch width almost 5, stitch length 4, it's not too offensive, it's still quite soft, not too much like dense stitching like you get with an overlocker, so that's still going to be comfortable. How are we doing for time? Gosh, time flies with you guys. It's already 35 minutes. Oof. Anyway, what we'll do is I'm going to do this. We'll finish the neckline and then I'm going to do the sleeves because the sleeves are slightly different from, say, the t-shirt sleeves we did in the Alice or the roll neck. So I'm just going to press that down towards the seam allowance, down towards the dress. And so that's just going down, and then we will top stitch that down. And obviously, I don't know if I'm going to have to do this to all the seam allowances. I hope not. It's just particularly that neckline looked a little bit frayed. It might be because of the way that it's cut on the opposite kind of grain across the other side. It's fraying more. There we go. Right, let's go back to stitch width 1.5, stitch length 2, and then we are going to find a point on our machine, we'll start at the back, that helps us line up. I'm probably going to just use, you know, the feet stick out like that. I'm going to line up here. Actually, what was I was going to say? That's not quite 1.5. There we go. So you can use the lightning stitch instead, but I think I've talked to you before about how I don't particularly like that on my machine. Did you know that this machine is, I got it when I was 16. So it's a computerized Benina Activa 140, and obviously I've had it serviced, although nowhere near as much as I probably should have. And how much? And how? So 16, so I'm 42. Quick maths. That's what, 24 years? No, 26 years. Still going strong. Almost back round at the back. So overlapping a little bit, little reverse. There we go. Trim those threads. Right, that really helps it. It does look a bit bigger than it should. Anyway, let's do, it's probably because it was meant to be 1.5 centimetres. Let's do the sleeves now. So, right side up of the dress like that. Take the sleeve, so that's the widest end, and that's going to go right side down. And then there are notches on either side, on the front part of the sort of seam here and there, and they correlate with them on the back, sorry, on the sleeve. One thing I didn't do actually, which I should have, is because I've shortened the sleeve just to, on the dress, that grown on bit because it wasn't fitting on my fabric. It's slightly narrower, I think. Yeah, is it slightly narrower? Actually, no, it shouldn't be slightly narrower because it was the same width. I think this is just stretched out a bit across because it's been cut right across the stretchiest part on the top of the sleeve. So just be careful there because that could have done that with your fabric as well. So that's pinned now. It's 1.5 centimetres, 5/8 of an inch. Oh, she sounds a little bit squeaky today. I wonder if I feel like she probably needs a bit of oil. There's sewing machine oil in there. Keep these pins in as long as I possibly can. I'm going to put another one in there just because this really has stretched out. It's not helping it, the stretch fabric being the top one, getting slightly more stretched as well as I sew. Really don't want to create sort of stretching out and it being longer when I get to the end. I might have to just be naughty. Just put some pins in there just to kind of hold it in place, and then I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to sew over those pins. Never like doing this, I always get nervous. Makes me squint because I think, maybe I'm going to break the needle. And even though the needle bow, I don't see how it could then flick up into your eye, it does make me nervous that might happen. Right, let's trim those off. What is that? Right, now let's press that. I think let's press it down towards the sleeve. Again, can't remember. I think I'm going to press it down towards the sleeve. I think that would be better. So you could I don't think you want to press it open. Here. There we go. Right, I'm going to do one side with you, and then I'll probably have to call it a day. I can see little Missy there. Patience may run out. She's been doing very well. Spoke too soon. Yes, darling, I'm almost done, okay? I'm almost done. What did I do so far? I made this. It's going to be a dress. Do you approve, Jazz? So let's do the sleeve first. So we've got notches there. There's one kind of at this position. Let's pin that one. Then we've got another one, a little bit more, just kind of lower than the elbow there. And then we've got the ends. Now I did lengthen this partly because I shortened it at the top on the kind of dress bit, but also because I want to make sure that it's a long sleeve. It's funny, isn't it, again with sleeve lengths, that there was very much a trend of sleeve lengths being 3/4, and I think especially when I had my cardigans, I did do 3/4 sleeves on dresses, because then my cardigans were 3/4 and I like that they kind of matched. But not something like this, I'm not going to wear a cardigan with it. Oh, there goes the washing machine. Saturday sounds. Okay, ooh, not that. So I've pinned it all the way down that one side. So let's stitch that together now. What is that? That is, it's there. Let's shove that in. So starting at the sleeve hem and away we go. So what's anyone sewing at home? Tell me. Tell me what you're sewing. I'm gonna, as it's got quite a long seam here, I think I can keep popping my head up and having a look at the screen. Or maybe you're not sewing it this weekend, but it's cut out and ready. Thank you to those of you who've given me a thumbs up. Ta very much. I do think that you shouldn't be, well maybe I guess some of the content going up on YouTube is awful, but it's like, don't give people an option to put a thumbs down. I used to remember when we used to watch things back and people used to do that. Sewing a quilted denim waistcoat with Liberty lining. Wow, that sounds fancy and difficult. Yeah, it's kind of that goes to that. If you don't have to give it a thumbs up if you're not enjoying it. Just don't do anything. Like giving it a thumbs down when someone's tried hard to like create something that they think people will enjoy. Don't get that. I would like a waistcoat pattern, a V-neck kind of waistcoat pattern. So what are you using, Tina? Discount Victory Patterns Jackie dress. Ooh, I don't know what that one looks like. I'm gonna have to look at that after this and see what that looks like. Right, I'm just getting to the seam here and there's a lot of fabric because of the seam allowance, so just be careful. You might need to give it a bit of a push to help it go through the machine. Sewing the Maya jumper from Pin Curls Vintage Inspired. Oh, Helen, I've not heard of these people. Pin Curls Vintage Inspired. Right, I'm going to have a look at that. That sounds amazing. Thanks, guys. 2 things to look up. I mean, I should know what that Victory dress looks like. I probably did once. Helen's Closet waistcoat. Okay. Again, I can't remember what that looks like, but I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Oops. It's getting a bit of pushback here. A bit annoying. I'm getting the threads are coming up from the back of the kind of knit pattern, catching on the foot. Ooh, yeah, I will have a look, Helen. I think that sounds right up my street. Pin Curl Vintage style, is it? Yeah. Defo Weffos. There was a vintagey company, I can't remember what it was, but they used to wear them, although I don't know if I'd feel confident now with my tummy, I'm not sure. But the 1940s Empire line trousers, and it was a vintage pattern company, and I had a couple of them and I loved them. They were like wide, like very much like wide neck, but then they went up to here. Oh, they were great. I used to have them in that navy. I think I had some tartan ones actually. But yeah, thought, oh, I might look them up again and see if they've got any other patterns that I like. I also really want to make myself a new dressing gown, and I'm going to use, I was thinking, the 1940s wrap dress. I think that would be a beautiful dressing gown. I've made it before actually, in a crepe, really, really long. I can't remember if I made it with you guys, if I did a sew along on it, but it's like a really pale colour and I just don't wear it. And I think I need to also size up because it is, you know, a dressing gown after all. But I want to make one in a kind of darker fabric. Kind of like a Japanesey print, I was thinking, something quite elegant. Okay, long seam all the way down. Done. So that essentially has created, thank you, that has created the dress really. We've basically got a dress. I've got to just do obviously the other side, but there we go. So easy. I'm going to have to go because it is 50 minutes after I started and I think I need to go see Jessie. But that is, yeah, it will probably take me another half an hour to finish this. So I'm going to sew on the other side and then I'll try it on at that point, and then I will take it in if I need to, or let it out, whatever I need to do, and then I'd hem it. But yeah, stay tuned. You remember that dressing gown? Oh, so yeah, I did do it with you guys. Okay, I've still got it. Brain freeze. That's it. Anyway, thank you for joining, guys. I will be back on Tuesday at 7 o'clock to do the last stages of the Amelia jacket. So we're going to be putting the kind of cuff on, and I'll be talking about what we're going to do the following weekend, if I can fit one in that weekend again. Thank you so much for joining me this Saturday and taking time out of your weekend to be here with me, and for chatting and making it sense of community for everyone. Those of you that are getting involved and chatting, it really is lovely. And thanks for giving me your thumbs up. Like I said, the link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, if you can support me, then please do buy me a cup of tea, and I can keep doing these and do more of them. So thanks again, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.